All right, the next category we're going to be discussing is Best Supporting Actor. Now, here's a category that was just obviously the most one-sided last year with Heath Ledger's win, and rightfully so, in my opinion. Yeah, but at the same time,
it was unfortunate though because there were a lot of really good performances last year.
Yeah, exactly, they were.
Michael Shannon and Revolutionary Road.
Oh, fantastic!
I'm sure I didn't see Tropic Thunder, but I'm sure Robert Downey Jr. is amazing because he's just amazing anyway.
Probably one of the best actors working in Hollywood.
Absolutely,
right now.
Absolutely, a very well-deserved Golden Globe, I might add.
yes, and a great speech.
And a great speech too, yeah.
But I'm going to start off with Anthony Mackie from The Hurt Locker, who played, I guess you could say, not so much the foil, just a different school of thought than Jeremy Renner's character, Sergeant Sanborn here. He was, I guess you could say, he just had a different way of going about things. That's what I liked about his character. In my opinion, Jeremy Renner's character didn't work without him. Because you have two schools of thought, and who's to say either one is wrong? They just do things in the matter that make themselves feel comfortable. And I think Anthony Mackie you can see his frustration grow throughout the film, and it really builds the tension between not only them, but just the happenings that are going on in the movie. The tension working within the plot, the tension working within the actors is what made The Hurt Locker so great. Anthony Mackie was fantastic.
Absolutely. I didn't have him on my list, but I completely agree with you.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, just the two of them together, like you said, they made that film work, and the film itself is about that. It's about the tensions that arise from the conflict that they're there for, but the tensions that arise within each other. And when you're in such a volatile position like that, I can't even imagine what they were going through and what our soldiers right now are going through all over the world.
Absolutely.
And they just brought that to life, and you were there with them. And that's credit to their performances, that's credit to the writers, and huge credit to Catherine Bigelow for directing.
Absolutely.
I know we don't have a directing category here, but I just want to throw out props to her because she totally deserves to win this.
She really does.
And I really appreciated James Cameron's shout out to her during his Golden Globe speech because she totally took this movie and made it what it was. It would not have been that without her. And total credit to her, so absolutely, I agree with you 100% for Mackie.
Yes, absolutely. And another one I have is Alec Baldwin, and It's Complicated. Now, here's a movie. Here's a movie that, again, it didn't meet my expectations. I was actually greatly disappointed by a lot of it. But when you have Meryl Streep and you have Steve Martin, you have Alec Baldwin all together, it can't be that terrible. And if they have at least a half-decent screenplay or script or whatever. And the thing is with Alec Baldwin is that he takes such an unlikable character and makes you like him. And he does this in many, many films.
Yeah, he absolutely does,
He did it with his only Oscar nomination of his career back in 2003 called The Cooler, a movie he did with William H. Macy, a film set in Vegas. He was kind of a scummy guy, but at the same time you wanted to see more of him on screen every time that he was gone. And I thought he was great in that film. I thought he was fantastic here. He's pretty much the king of comedy and entertainment right now with this role on 30 Rock and his scene-stealing efforts in films like My Best Friend's Girl, which was an awful film, but he at least made it watchable for the scenes he was in, and even My Sister's Keeper, where he wasn't laugh-out-loud funny, but he had that charm still there for a TV lawyer. So I thought he was really good and It's Complicated. Did you see that one?
No, unfortunately, again, that was one I could have seen, but I just didn't get around to it. But I really do want to see it. Also, I don't want to spend $11 to see it. So like, it looks funny, and because it got a lot of recognition at the Golden Globes with director and writer, I think too. I can't remember. And picture, of course. I've heard good things and I've heard bad things, so I just wanted to wait until it came out.
Fair enough.
Meryl Streep is just amazing, so
she is wonderful,
everything she does. So that's what I was saying I'll talk about that for actress.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But yeah.
And also another one is Robert Duvall for a film called Crazy Heart. Now this one's only playing a limited theater, so I don't think you've seen this one either. But it's almost a throwback to his Oscar win. Duvall, 6-time nominee himself in the past. He won in 1983 for a film called Tender Mercy. It's very similar to Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges here. And obviously, it's pretty clear Jeff Bridges is going to get a nomination. He's probably, from what I understand, he's neck and neck with George Clooney right now to be favored to win. And it's changed with the hype the movie's gotten these days. But the fact of the matter is,
with the Golden Globe win.
Exactly. And the fact of the matter is, with Robert Duvall in this film, not only is it a throwback to his Tender Mercies role, it's almost as if that character from that movie is like in another life here, and trying to give, I guess you could say, the Jeff Bridges character, Bad Blake, the advice that he's, the best he can, learning from the mistakes his character made in Tender Mercies. Even though it's not the same character, it's just strange how that works. But yeah, Robert Duvall just is always having fun when he's doing movies. He kind of reminds me of Christopher Walken in the sense where he's just happy to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I've always loved about Robert Duvall. Now, give me some of your picks.
Well, my number one was Christoph Waltz for Glorious Bastards.
Yes.
Huge scene stealer. He, like the movie, you know, usually when I see a movie and I don't like it at first, when I think about it and kind of divulge it a little, then I like it more, and that's what happened with Inglourious Bastards. But Christoph Waltz was just incredible in this film. He was so funny.
It wouldn't have worked without him.
But he's not funny because he's a Jew killer, and that was his name, was the Jew Hunter. And he's an evil character.
He is very.
And he's crazy, and he's a lunatic, and he just wants to kill people. But he was so funny doing it.
It was
just, oh my goodness. And especially when you're next to Brad Pitt, and you're next to, who else was in that movie that was, I don't know, I can't even remember, but because Christoph Waltz was so good, and he just made that film. He completely made that film, and he deserved the Golden Globe. Absolutely did. He just took Quentin Tarantino's crazy mixed up screenplay and the dialogue, and he just created that character.
Yeah.
You know, he started off when you didn't like him. You knew who he was, you knew what he was after, and he brought that darkness to it. He absolutely did. And you did not like him, but by the end of the movie, you didn't like him, but you started to just
get into
it.
Yes,
you know, you wanted to see more of him, even though he was evil.
Yes, exactly.
And you were I was laughing at him by the end because he was so good and so funny, and he brought such a charm to an evil character.
He did.
But that's all credit to his acting, so.
Absolutely. And you look at him, he doesn't look evil at all. You see him in the Golden Globe, he just looks like a meek, older guy, just, wouldn't stand out normally.
Exactly. He's actually a very famous actor in Austria.
Yes, he is,
He's Austrian, he's very famous there, and he's starting to make a little wave in the Hollywood scene, which I'm really glad for, because then we'll see more of him and see what else he can do. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the future.
I looked it up. This was actually his first widespread theatrical release for a film in North America.
Wow, good for him. So he totally deserves this. My other pick was Stanley Tucci for The Lovely Bones.
Wow, yes.
He
almost unrecognizable.
Yeah. When I didn't know it was him when I first saw the trailers. I can't remember who I thought it was, but. Like, I can't place his face, but he, like, when you see him in roles, like, in The Devil Wears Prada, and Julie and Julia, which was another fantastic performance for him, and then you see him in this movie, it's the complete opposite. He's the complete opposite of his role in The Devil Wears Prada. But he totally stole both those roles. He owned those roles, both of them. And that's credit to him as a seasoned actor who has played beside the greatness of Meryl Streep and the funness of Emily Blunt and Anne Hathaway.
Yes.
And then to come in here and play opposite heavyweight actors like Mark Wahlberg and Rachel Weisz, who's also an Academy Award winner.
She is,
and I can't pronounce her name, Saoirse Ronan or whatever.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
She was wonderful.
She